What's up guys? Welcome back to the Streets YouTube channel. The Premier League returns, finally. It's been about 2 to 3 months and what a time for it to come back. Everyone just got over all the pre-season games. Everyone has seen how their teams are potentially going to line up in the first game, and it's an exciting time for all football fans because the season is back underway. Right, this is our Game Week 1 preview video. In this video I'm going to be talking about obviously all the 10 games, and I'm going to dive into new signings, how I think they could potentially line up, my score predictions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give predictions for each game, and I'm actually going to give myself a score, keep this tally going throughout the season. So I'm going to give myself 3 points for a win, so like if I get the correct score and the correct team, 1 point if I get the correct team winning, or obviously if it's a draw, if I predict the draw, 0 points if I get it wrong, and I'm actually going to give myself -1 point if it's the same scoreline I predicted but the other way around. So there can be a bit of consequence if I get it completely wrong. So let's get straight into it. Straight on to the first game of the season on Friday night, Burnley versus Manchester City. And what a game to kick off the new Premier League season. Company against his old club. Obviously everybody is expecting Manchester City to come out the blocks firing, and I predict no different. It will be exciting to see how James Trafford gets on in his first game, especially against his old club. I know he was on loan at Bolton last season, but coming off the back of that Euro under-21 success, not conceding a goal, saving a penalty with the last kick of the game in the final, it will be really good to see how he gets on. And it's not like the Burnley of old. Vincent Kompany has come in, completely transformed the way they play. They now play a brilliant style of football, fast-paced, and really good to watch. So it will be interesting to see how they get on in the Premier League this season. Myself, if you go and check my prediction videos, you will see how I think they'll get on. I think they'll finish like 15th. I think they'll be safe, just purely to the brand of football that they play. They've made a couple of good signings as well. Like I said, James Trafford, Sander Berge just come in, which is a very good addition for them. But in this game, I do expect Manchester City to win this game. Obviously, being champions just off the back of the treble. I do think they will start quite slow. I don't think it's going to be a runaway victory, 4 or 5 goals, like they would do to the Burnley of old. I think it will be quite a tight game. I predict a 2-1 victory for Manchester City. It will give the Burnley fans something to cheer about, that they can compete at this level, and by them scoring a goal. But I do think Manchester City will come out on top. On to Arsenal. Now, Arsenal versus Forest. I think this game will be a lot more simpler. I think Arsenal will integrate their new signings in the first game of the season. I think Yuri and Timber will start at left back because Zinchenko's out injured. I think obviously Declan Rice will play, but I don't think Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz will start because obviously Jesus is injured. I don't think Arteta has the trust in Eddie Nketiah, so I think Havertz will start up front as that number 9. Looking back at the Community Shield, obviously most of the time it has no bearing on the season. Last season Liverpool beat Manchester City, and Man City obviously went and won the league and the treble subsequently. So moving on to this game, I think Arsenal will win. Nottingham Forest have kept the core of their players. They've let a couple of their loan signings expire, and I think Arsenal will win this comfortably. I think they'll win by 3-0, and I think it'll be a good start for Arsenal in the Premier League this campaign. Now, moving on to Bournemouth versus West Ham. This is where it starts to get spicy. Obviously, Bournemouth have hired a new manager. Manager that likes to press high, win the ball up high, and essentially like Jurgen Klopp used to do with Liverpool, win that ball back very quickly and look to kick on from there. They're obviously against a West Ham side who hadn't made any signings until late. Those signings are yet to be integrated into the team. Obviously, they've signed Edson Alvarez from Ajax, Harry Maguire from Manchester United, but obviously they have had very little or next to no time with the current playing squad, so it doesn't look like they might feature at all. So I think Bournemouth will win this one. Their new star player Lucas Paqueta might have his mind elsewhere, obviously with the current Manchester City situation going on. I think Bournemouth will come out on top. I think the manager will get his pressing tactics spot on, and against a West Ham team that might not be full of confidence. Yes, they won the Conference League, but I think following a poor Premier League campaign, Bournemouth could do a job on them, obviously providing that the manager's got the right players in. Obviously they've made sound like Justin Kluivert, good attacking players who can press and win that ball back high as possible. So I think Bournemouth will win this game. I'm going to go with a 2-1 victory for Bournemouth, and good start for the new manager, and will put David Moyes under pressure quite early on. On to Brighton versus Luton. Now, obviously this is Luton's first season in the Premier League, and it'll be interesting to see how they line up. Unfortunately, I don't think they have the squad capable of competing at a high level, and I think to play somebody like Brighton, a football team that is settled, has a brilliant way of playing, no matter who they put out. Obviously, Brighton will have a completely rejigged midfield this season, with Caicedo looking like he's on his way out to either Chelsea or Liverpool. McAllister already gone, so I think it will be interesting to see who Brighton play in midfield and how they get on. But I expect nothing other than a Brighton victory here, quite comfortably. I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory for Brighton, and I think it will be quite an easy day at the office for them. I don't expect any troubles really from Luton, but like I said, it's the Premier League, and who really knows what's going to happen until about 4:50 PM on Saturday. Then we'll all know what the final score is and whether Luton will in fact be able to compete in this league. So, on to Everton versus Fulham. This is looks like to be one of the non-exciting games of the week. Everton have made some signings that, to me, doesn't really excite. I think they've made a couple of squad player additions. Nothing that's going to really light up their squad. I think if they sign Willie Gnotto from Leeds, I think that could be a bit different. I think he's a really exciting player. Similar to Fulham, obviously their major signing is Raul Jimenez, and it's going to be interesting to see whether him or Mitrovic start the first game this season. Marco Silva's come out and said that Mitrovic is ready and he is 100% committed to the club as it stands. So, like I said, it will be interesting to see who starts out of the two. If it's Mitrovic, I think it might be a comfortable win for Fulham, but if it's not, I expect Everton to make a draw. But I am going to go for a draw, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I think the atmosphere, first game of the season at Goodison Park, will be electric, and I think Everton could feed off that and get themselves a result. It may not be a win, but a draw will be a decent result nonetheless. It is fair to comment that last season Fulham had the better of the two results, or better of the two games last season, coming away with 4 points. And last season at Goodison Park they did draw 0-0, so a 1-1 draw does seem like a fair result. On to Sheffield United versus Crystal Palace. Two teams which has lost an abundance of talent, Sheffield United losing their best player in Ndai, and Crystal Palace losing Wilfried Zaha. They could still tend to lose Elise as well, but obviously up until now he still plays, and I still think that Crystal Palace will have the talent to get them through. Eze and Elise, like I said, still at the club, will, I think, guide them through to this result, and I think Crystal Palace will win this game. I'm going to go with a 3-0 victory away from home. That's the first victory I've got away from home in this campaign so far, and I think it will go to Crystal Palace. Now, probably the most exciting, if maybe second exciting game of this game week. Newcastle versus Aston Villa. 2-3 years ago, you would look at Newcastle Aston Villa and say, nah, it's just a mid-table clash, or one might be fighting relegation, but not anymore. Newcastle United, new owners, shrewd signings, and look like a team on the massive up. It will be interesting to see how they juggle the Premier League ambitions and Champions League this season. Only time will tell how they got on with that, but for now, first game of the season against Aston Villa, another team who have made a lot of good additions to their side. I'm looking forward to see how Diaby gets on. Tielemans, whether Tielemans can come back to his best, and Pau Torres, which I think is a really good signing in defence for Aston Villa. From Villarreal, I think he's a really good defender. Those additions, I think they've just signed Zaniolo on loan as well, but due to a bad injury of Emi Buendia. But I think this will be a blockbuster clash, and I think it will be a 2-2 draw to kick off both of their campaigns. I think they've still got the danger. Aston Villa's still got the danger of Ollie Watkins up front, as well as the addition of Diaby. I think it will be a really exciting game for both. Hopefully, for Newcastle, Almiron kind of teetered off towards the back end of last season. If he can start this season the way he started last season, it'll be a really exciting time. I expect up front for Newcastle, I expect them to start with Wilson, and I think Isak will take over that position as the season progresses. But I do predict that they go with Wilson up front for this one, and Harvey Barnes starts as the left winger. The midfield picks itself in Newcastle. I think Joe Linton, Bruno Guimaraes and Tonali. It'd be interesting to see how Tonali gets on in his first Premier League game. Obviously, we've all seen images and videos of him never looking happy, but I do think he will embrace this move to Newcastle. I think he'll be a very good player. So, like I said, 2-2, and we'll move on to Brentford v Tottenham Hotspur. Brentford had the better of these two. Had the better of the two games last season. I think Ivan Toney will be a massive miss for Brentford. Mbeumo is a very, very good talent and did fill in when Ivan Toney was injured last season. And it'll be interesting to see how Tottenham get on in this game. New manager, of course, Ange Postecoglou, has come in and done a fantastic job over pre-season. It looks like he's got the team more attacking. Obviously, they've brought in James Maddison for that kind of transition player from defence midfield into attack. And I think with that new attacking way of playing, they will get exposed at the back. We all know that their defenders aren't quite good enough, or they haven't been good enough. Whether they improve under Ange, we don't. It's obviously yet to be seen. But I do predict a 3-1 Tottenham victory. I do think in this game, Ange's attacking philosophy will pay dividends, and I think, like I said, Spurs will come out victorious 3-1. On to, like I said, if it's not Newcastle Aston Villa, definitely this game is the blockbuster game of the week. Chelsea versus Liverpool. Two Premier League giants going at it, game week 1. Who would want a better fixture than this? You got Chelsea, who have let a lot of players go, haven't made the signings they wanted to as of game week 1. I've watched a lot of them in pre-season, and to be honest, they look very good. It's a shame about Nkunku. Obviously, he's out for a few months with that knee injury, and we're yet to see how they will play without him. Obviously, a lot of good linker play with Nicholas Jackson in pre-season, so it's yet to be seen whether whoever comes in can have that same type of link-up play with Nicholas Jackson, or whether it will leave Jackson isolated up front. Liverpool, obviously, they have currently probably an incomplete squad. The squad depth at the moment is probably one of the weakest in the Premier League. They lack cover really at that right back spot. I've seen a lot of them in pre-season, and other than the first two centre halves, Matip seems to have dropped off, and Gomez simply isn't good enough for Liverpool anymore. Everyone knows about their midfield situation. They currently don't have a holding midfielder, so it will be interesting to see how Liverpool get on. Obviously, both clubs are pushing for both Lavia and Caicedo. I expect, one of them to get one and one get the other. I think in terms of what both teams need, I think Liverpool need a more ready-to-go midfielder as opposed to a younger midfielder. So I think Caicedo would be a better fit for Liverpool, and Lavia would be a better fit for Chelsea. But obviously, I don't think those signings will be done in time for this game week. So with that in mind, I am going to go for a 2-2 draw. I think that will satisfy both teams game week 1. Chelsea are obviously looking to rebuild after that disappointing season last season, and Liverpool with a rebuild in midfield, obviously letting a lot of older players go and bringing in some new talent. We don't know how. Obviously, McAllister was at McAllister was at Brighton, and Szoboszlai is new to the Premier League, so it will be interesting to see how they get on. It is worth mentioning that the last 4 games between these two teams have finished 0-0, so one would not expect goals, but both teams look like they've changed a lot, and obviously Chelsea now under Pochettino have an identity, a way of playing, and I think there will be goals in this one. Like I said, I think it'll end 2-2, and both teams will be satisfied. On to the curtain raiser for game week 1, and that is Manchester United versus Wolves, a team in absolute crisis. And I don't think it's going to get any better this week. I think Manchester United will walk this game. I'm going to predict a 4-0 victory. Obviously, it's going to be Gary O'Neill's first game in charge. He only came in 2 days ago, and won't have that much time to work with the squad, work with obviously what formation he wants to play. So I think it will be quite limited to what he does. I think that he'll use this game as a tester. I think obviously he hasn't been able to have a pre-season with them. I think he'll use this game as a tester and see how his team performs against a mighty Manchester United side. Obviously, Manchester United have made the signing of Rasmus Højlund. He's unavailable due to injury. So I expect Garnacho to start off the left and Rashford to start up front. And I don't think that weakens Manchester United in the slightest. Garnacho has had a brilliant pre-season. He's looked really lively. I think he's going to be some player for the future. It's worth noting, obviously he won't be playing and won't play for a while, but it's worth noting that Manchester United are going to make a decision on Mason Greenwood before this game, as to whether he will be integrated back into the team or not after his court case dismissal. Manchester United got the better of Wolves home and away last season. I expect it to continue, and I'm going to go for a comfortable 4-0 victory for Manchester United, and I think it would be a good start to life for Erik ten Hag in his second season. Right, so like I said, all my predictions there. There will be a scoring system like I've outlined in the start of the video. Please, if you would like to get involved, pop your predictions down in the comment section, and if I get anyone involved, it doesn't even matter if you do it after this game week or you do it, say, Saturday before kickoffs. You know, one or two fixtures isn't going to matter when it comes to a 38-week game week. So, like I said, pop your predictions in the comment section, and I will create some sort of league. And if there's enough people involved, I'll do a big prize giveaway come the end of the season. I don't know what that'll be yet. I'll think of something good. It might be cash. It might be you know, I might do like a games console or something like that. But I'll make sure it's worth your while. So like I said, pop your predictions down in the comment section. If you've liked you know, anything that I've said today, just give this video a like. Hopefully your team wins in game week 1 and has a very good season on top of that. So that'll be the end of this video. Like I said, give it a like, subscribe if you like this content, and I will see you in the review video after game week 1. Cheers!